Excellent.
You already know what the fuck going on. What up, my guy?
Who sang it? Talking about my guy. My guy was it? Oh man.
My girl.
Not my.
Talking about
Yeah.
my
Oh, it's
girl.
Marvin
My
Gaye.
girl.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye.
Wasn't that Temptations?
Oh my God, yes.
Even like because they had all the high lows, the lows, the he's, the highs.
I think it was the Temptations.
Yeah, I think so.
And not Marvin.
Yeah, I believe after the Temptations made it, a lot of people probably did a copy of it. You know what I mean? A cover to it. All the greats at the time, which Marvin Gaye was one of the greats at the time.
Oh man, no, I tell you what,
and of all time,
with my Pandora and my, because I like music, so I've got my 100 some odd stations that cycle through.
Okay.
And I don't have the Temptations. I do have Marvin Gaye.
You don't have the Temptations?
In terms of if you want
you
to
should
cover,
add it.
There's a limit, but it's hard to cover like all of the kind of the genres of music, because I've got classical and I got Latin, and so it's like at some point it's like, oh yeah, I can't have any more. I mean, you
can have as much as you want.
Well, no, to get it shuffled. Do you know what I mean? That otherwise, oh my God, if it was unlimited shuffling, I would have like 1,000.
Dude, if I shuffle my music right now, like all the songs I have access to, it'll probably be like 700 days of music. Different songs constantly for 700 days.
No, I agree, and I know your music. You have your own relationship with music, and I wish you would
drop some music. Hey,
come on, man.
You're lucky. I've listened to some beats. So let's get to the beginning of the show first, and then I'll bring you into what I got coming next.
No, I want to hear about it.
Let's dub this show called "A Look Into the Future."
Oh, okay.
Hey, if this is your first time watching Foster and Feinstein, make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share this with as many people as you got. What we do here on this show is we talk about any and everything under the sun at all times, and we put our little perspective on it, our tweaks on it, and we're two different humans from two totally different spectrums, as you can tell. He's a young black man, and I'm an old Jewish guy. Oh wait, did I say that wrong?
I still think we're not going to do it, but I remember when you initially explaining TikTok to me.
Yeah.
I told you that you should do something with
your voice.
Yeah, and vice versa.
You're right.
And trying to make the face that would go with the my version of what your face would look like as I'm saying your words.
Well, shit. Maybe we work on that tomorrow. We're supposed to shoot tomorrow, but maybe let's work on creating a bunch of like TikTok videos with your idea, right, and see how the people react to it. Because that's a good idea.
I remember talking
about
it like in the very beginning.
We just never did it.
No, we didn't do it, but I thought, we did one, I think, where, I think so. You mimicked my voice when I was talking about something.
Okay.
I'm certain.
Yeah.
I didn't do you.
Yeah.
And it was great. Oh, anyhow, it would really be funny, but.
Let's get to the show then.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Foster and
Feinstein.
Hey, man, we back with another one. We usually have week shows, weekly. We wanted to drop them weekly, but some traveling and some COVID predictions and we try to get them out as much as possible. But we appreciate every single one of you, every single one of our subscribers. Like I said before, if this is your first time with us, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe this. And today we're going to be talking about the future and what the future has to come for us and what we think the future has to come for, the rest of the world. So tune in and tap in.
A conversation taking place with great humility.
Facts. I like that.
Right?
Yep.
Because actually I'm like a third of the way through like writing a blog about this. I swear to God, I really do. Okay. And we're in it, and I wanted to write about kind of like where we're at, but it's not such a great place if you really want to look, right?
Yeah, globally, yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, I could make up a story because I never thought about it. I always write like how it is, so I could write some imaginary thing about my writing and how I think gets discovered, and I become this huge fucking, power in the universe, and I have the ability to to make the changes that I believe we ought to change. If I had that ability,
Yeah,
and of course,
all-encompassing power.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought, oh wow, what a fun way to tell a story. So I'm in the middle of
Telling a story, yeah, right? Like an intergalactic
Well,
parody.
But you know, when you and if you know, when you're saying we'll talk about the the future,
Right.
it's really a similar kind of a thing because it's first of all, it's the future. There's no way it can be fact-based.
Right.
It can't.
It's all hypothetical. Because a fucking asteroid can hit this bitch and change the whole.
But if it happens, it's fact.
Then it's fact. Yeah.
So we're out there. I'm cool with that.
But even that, the things that happen that are fact, you give a little time, and sometimes you find out that that fact at that time was a lie and not a truth at all. But it was what was told and propagated through the mass majority. And so if the masses believe it, it's to be true, even though it's false.
It happens.
100%. Occasionally, not like regularly.
Not as often as too many people would like to say at this point, where it's where, in other words, basically you can't trust a fucking thing in the mind of so many people. It's like you heard this, oh no, bullshit, that's wrong.
Right. No, for real. No, seriously.
Right? Seriously, right?
No, dead ass. That's dead ass.
Anyhow.
So one of the things that you brought up, you're saying like you don't have any, great hopes for the things that are to come for the group because of how we've been treating the planet. What do you think about that new thing that President Biden just spoke about, talking about there's food shortages coming as well with more inflation and higher gas prices and higher cost of livings, like while people are already struggling to get by right now. People are living check to check. People are like, working 2-3 jobs to try to get it through. And there's food shortages coming?
Well, the deal with that is...
That's some historical, biblical type of shit.
No, the more precious you try and make things, real or bullshit, the more expensive they get.
True.
Right?
Like diamonds.
Right?
Yeah.
So the vibe that's going on now, food prices are going up, oil and gas prices are going, all the fucking prices are going up, and they are going up. And do you know what is happening? These companies are buying back their stocks.
Oh.
They're paying their executives fucking. I'm not being. I ain't Joe Rogan yet. It's the truth.
No, yeah.
It's
on the books.
Yeah, the oil companies.
Bonus incentives.
Right, the oil shortages and this going on. Oh my God, their profits are in billions and billions of dollars in oil and gas.
Yeah.
And it's this board game.
It is a game.
That we're pieces on.
It's something like Monopoly, honestly, to be really honest with you.
Yeah.
You live in an apartment with a bunch of people, you buy your first house, that first house turns into another apartment with a bunch of people, and you get a bank eventually at one point in time when you make enough.
Well, it's Monopoly, not to be confused with monogamy.
Ooh. Talk to the people there.
Right?
Yeah.
Because to me monogamous is
a singularity relationship with one other.
It's
identical.
Good, man. It's like solid.
Yeah, it's like
you
solid.
know what I mean? It's like it doesn't mean it's the only, but it's like the one the big one you got is good.
It's good. It's good. It's great. It's grand. Yes, sir.
Anyhow.
So that's one of the things about the future is like the food shortage. Do you think that there's even a possibility that there could be a food shortage? I know for 100% fact that there are more plants on the planet than there are people. So if you cut down that number to figuring out what you feed the people, if you were to feed the people certain types of varieties of plants and root vegetables, that there's no way there could ever be a food shortage. If there's more food growing on the planet than it is people. I think it's orchestrated.
Have you ever eaten guinea grass?
No.
I ain't eating guinea grass.
I ain't eating guinea grass.
It's very. It happened a long time ago, when the basic family unit was also the farm. They lived, and I don't know. I probably would apply to all over the world, even in a tribal sense. It was very. It was real basic. It was balanced.
Right.
And then I'm trying to think, because I read about it, I'm trying to think of exactly and there were large families.
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Because there was all the work to be done,
Yep.
and it was really you were really a self-sufficient units
Yeah.
in in the beginning,
True.
right?
True.
And then
What happened?
it got all fucked up.
And industrialism.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Mass productions of things.
Um,
And
I got a machine that can do what two of you can do.
and think about the demand that creates, and then we get to a point where we as humans become used to having, 40-inch tomahawk steaks and the biggest lobster claws, 100-pound lobster claws, and having these exotic things, and then when it becomes lesser or extinct at a certain point, it's like now we have to change our ways as humankind. I think the food shortages are going to come because nobody wants to grow food. It's not worth it to grow food. Like, think about it. You get beat up by big industry.
By the way, like any, in a sense, almost like any business, if you're in a retail clothing business on a street corner, you're fucking history, man, because of Target and all of that. And it's the nature. Apparently it's our human nature, right? That we're going to create, businesses and more money and larger operations.
Right, we're gonna just expand.
And that it ate up the family farm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
then that means the answer to any type of food shortage or everything would be get a bunch of guns and start getting a family farm, and then you'll be straight, right? Is that like a protect yourself? Oh.
By the way, what we're talking about is highly illegal. So the sirens that you hear. So in a matter of moments, we're going to be cuffed, and then.
I'm faster than you. As long as I outbeat him in the race, I don't get caught. And we gotta hope he don't snitch. You better hold to the code, Larry.
But the video is just going to keep running until the phone runs out, and we'll be. I don't know where we'll be. So, anyway.
Hey, Siri, can you auto upload this video just in case?
Say that oh my God! My phone could start talking when you say that. Because that is the thing. Hey, anyway. Oh man, when you consider the abundance, the potential abundance of this planet,
right?
In terms of its ability to
sustain.
Ooh, same word.
Yeah.
And grow. I mean, it's an incredible place.
Yeah,
man.
no, it is.
And
it is.
And in a way, I wish that there were many of us who really felt how unbelievably lucky they were,
right,
to be living their life on this planet,
dude. At this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine people who are living in like just the 1800s, and like I bet they wish they were in this time, from living back then. And then even that, you go back even farther than that. People in ancient Egypt probably wish that they were living in this time, or us living in that time.
Well,
so you gotta just take for granted, or not take for granted, take for account that the life you're living right now, the time you're living right now, is the most extraordinary moment in history. Like, you're so rare of an opportunity for you to be here.
Hopefully people have thought, there were at least some people that thought that, throughout our history.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it would be very interesting, which we can't do.
There's nothing we can't do.
To take somebody from, like 3,000 years ago in Egypt,
right,
and have a discussion about what
Nowadays,
our lives were like.
Yeah, it was total different rituals, total different beliefs, total different understandings, truths.
My guess is you'd very often find that regardless of what time you were looking at, people were very happy to be in it because that's the life they were living.
That's all you know.
You know what I mean? That's your world.
That's your world. That's your existence.
So,
your reality.
Yeah. So we could look
until you start tripping off DTP. What is that shit called? That triple dimethylpene or whatever. It's like, and then they got the frog shit that they, shaman. You go in the jungle. And you get like a toad.
Not like ayahuasca.
Yeah, like ayahuasca.
Stuff?
Yeah, like that stuff. And then you can leave this planet and go to another realm or another reality or another dimension.
That's it's outside of. I don't have a license for that.
I've never tried it either. Kids, well, this is for 18 and up anyway, so kids, don't try this at home. All these things we're talking about are all hypothetical. I do not do drugs.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Quite honestly, when you start, looking ahead, to be sitting here, completely sober and trying to imagine, you'll probably be no more accurate than somebody who's in the middle of an ayahuasca
They might feel
trip and thinks they're Jimi Hendrix.
Okay. But hey, if they play like it and hit the right notes, shit. So what else about the future? Like, let's tie in something. Let's segue into something else that brings this into the future that you have any perspective of. I brought up my idea.
Well, I don't know if people like to hear
Bleak, bad, sad.
No, not that, but I don't know. Somewhat, I don't call it academic but there's an incredible historian, a lady who is actually like Republican, but she is an American historian. Incredible how she looks at history. Yeah. Her name is Heather. I think I may have sent it. Her name is Heather Cox Richardson. Yeah. And I saw her last video, and I'm on getting on point. Is that she is actually becoming very, very nervous about the possibility of the whole oligarchic, that incredibly wealthy, people who are just, playing the planet. I mean, Russia, well,
right.
It's an oligarchy.
Right.
Russia.
Yeah.
This place is, and big business, and that that she was afraid that that's where we were going
globally.
Yeah, to this oligarchy, which would be awful.
I mean, it's not that we're going to that. Think about the top world, the top manufacturers, or the top billionaires, or the top, richest countries in the world. They do necessarily run the world in an oligarchy style. Like they control anything. They can manipulate the markets. They can flood.
Yes, and those are the people who can create a food shortage without even farting.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I'm saying they would be like, bam, food shortage.
Yeah.
And are they making money?
Yeah. No,
right?
Seriously, yeah.
All of a sudden, an asparagus is a fucking diamond.
You grow the rarities. Hey, ginger is always a good thing to grow. Ginseng, if you can get a ginseng farm out there, people, ginseng is one of the most highly sought after root vegetables on the planet. It's not even a vegetable. It's just the root, right? I
think so.
So ginseng, though, if you can grow some ginseng, and wherever climate you live in, do it and sell it to the market. You're gonna be surprised about how much money you get. But like he said, it's right. Price is based on the person who's producing that product. If the person who's producing the product sets a price really high, we have no choice but to buy it. If there's a lot of competition, the price has to come down for people to compete with each other.
Well,
but if there's oligarchies that control main sections of certain markets, all they got to do is just, like you said, hit that switch, and not even it.
No, because you would think, the idea of supply and demand there's a fluidity.
Yeah.
You would think,
you would think it should
supply and demand. But when you have supply
and demand is natural.
Yeah, but when you have supply in the hands of very, very few, that's how the flow goes.
They want to create the demand. Like, think about all of the shit that's happened. Not even in the last 200 years, not even in the last 20 years, but in the last 2 years. There's been such big shifts in demands for things globally. A demand for this, a demand for that. There was a demand for toilet tissue at one point in time. Like,
well,
ventilators and
in the past 2 years of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Billionaires in this country
got the richest. They made the most money.
Have made more money than they have ever made in their lives. Some like 1.8 trillion. I mean, a huge amount of money. It's the most profitable time that the billionaire class has had in America.
Right.
And with adding more Billionaires.
Wealth, yeah.
Okay. So when you start dealing in terms of what we're doing without, and shortages,
Yeah.
and all of these kind of things, and the price of oil, and you have that going on at the exact same time, and nobody seems to give a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. You know why nobody gives a shit? Honestly, is because it's one of those things of not even understanding what's really going on. We get caught up in just only worrying about our bubbles, right? We never, just like in the stock market, when you're trading the stocks, if you're looking at the 1 minute chart, you only get a picture of what happens every minute. But if you back up and look at the daily chart, you get a picture of what's happened in the last 365 days. You back out, you look at the monthly chart, you get a way clearer picture, like what's been happening.
Right.
And so most people only operate in their day-to-day lives, what they see, what they do, who they interact with. They're not going outside and understanding like the global side of things or the macro side of things.
Well, one of my absolute favorites, and I think I did it here, I know I wrote about it, was a dude by the name of Carl Sagan.
Okay. Okay.
Astronomer, but a writer and just a real poetic soul from that whole world of astronomy. There were, I think, the first photographs from some distant satellite of Earth, and all you could see was a pale blue dot.
Okay.
And it's actually, he wrote something called A Pale Blue Dot.
All right.
About the size of the place. My point is, the further you take your view,
right,
personally, and go beyond whether it's, I mean, as broad as you possibly can, if you could look at the Earth, it would be unbelievable to have that ability.
Yeah.
But just imagine if you could do that, and we're sitting here, and you look at what's going on in Ukraine.
Right.
You look
what's
at
going on in Somalia. What's going on in
Yemen.
Yeah, all the places.
And the destruction, and the poverty. Right.
Right.
It's like it's millions and millions of people.
It is.
So when I, think about like climate and all that, and figuring out a way to move, forward, the only way is for it to actually be truly inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And up until now, in the life of our species, we have never come fucking close to doing anything like that.
No, yeah.
Okay?
No, yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is look at the shit in Ukraine, but
it's history repeating itself over and over and over again.
No, but and it's going on, and as you know, I mean, it's absolutely awful. But let me tell you, man, in terms of lives lost, you never get to see the attention that it deserves paid to black lives.
No,
black
or brown, yeah.
African lives,
yeah.
and the things that are going on in that part of the world.
But see, that's the part of like that's what's been happening for a short period of time, right? I started thinking about, like, that's one of the things I started doing was panning back and understanding, like, how long did black and brown people reign this earth? And like, it was thousands of years, and they did this and they did that, and then there was this point in history where the rule changed. There was a point in history where the Chinese was in rule, and then there was a point in history where the Japanese was in rule, and it's like now we're at a point where they're trying to erase our history as black people, as brown people, as being rulers, as being like on the top of the food chain by the few hundred years that they came in and did their shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And now it's like, that's when you pan back and look back, it's like, damn, this beginning, which is all fucked up, which needs to change, it's short. It's like, a few hundred years versus a plethora of years.
Well,
200,000 years type shit.
Again, and then you look in terms of the small kind of vision, you look what's going on in a lot of southern states with what they're referring to as critical race theory.
Yeah.
Okay? Where it's like you're not supposed to, you really don't.
Just don't talk about it.
You don't need to
don't think about it. Don't even breathe about it. Just let it out. Just don't put it in you.
And that's the most outrageous one. But of course it's now extended to sexuality and all of that, and it's getting back to my point before, at a time where we really have to be as expansive as possible in our thinking.
Yeah.
We have to be.
Yeah, you can't be narrow-minded in these times.
What we have going on is such a constrictive way of viewing things.
True. Blinders like a horse. It's like
so.
It's just
It's we're terribly inwardly focused that way, and we're dealing with issues that involve all living beings.
Yeah. And we need to talk to the squirrels about this shit.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Seriously.
And you didn't do ayahuasca? But I don't understand that in conversations about what's going on, that people really aren't talking about this all inclusive. This, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So which gets back to my thing. I hope that time is good.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to put in my story is that and it's just a minute as a joke. What would happen if I really became like the oracle for the world? Right? No.
Not even what would happen. What if you are now?
Well, you can make I certainly can make the point in Zen. It would be the very fact that I'm doing it, means I'm speaking to millions.
Right.
But I'm thinking just as a flight of a fantasy thing.
Okay.
Almost like a really bad screenplay.
Okay.
I'm sitting, and all of a sudden I become like I've got all the power imaginable. The world will do what I want it to do.
Okay.
What do I want it? You know what I mean? How do I want to shape my world?
Right.
And then I could shrink back and say, if all of us thought that way, right?
True. Now, for real. But that's the thing is that
so.
That's a grandioso type of thinking.
So, but it's fun. So I'm going from just this one thought. I just thought it would be fun to get, ridiculous. That there's a wonderful movie you have to see, and then and it's a little bit different. It's called Being There.
Being There?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
year did it come out?
Oh shit. I'm not sure. But it had a great actor, again before, Peter Sellers, who did Pink Panther, and anyhow, he's the gardener in the White House. And I don't remember clearly, but I think the president dies. Okay. And the wife of the president starts to rely on Chauncey the gardener. Okay. And no matter what he says, they end up being interpreted as these brilliant statements.
Okay.
But he doesn't mean it. And it would be like, you need to allow the garden to grow. Something like that. Right? And then it would be like, and all of a sudden it was like...
It echoed through the world.
Yeah. So
what's the name of that again?
Being There.
It's
really wonderful.
Okay.
It's such a good movie.
I'll check it out.
I don't know if but anyhow, it's kind of like that. So, and so is this.
True.
Right?
We're speaking our truths to the world.
Yeah, or about a world that,
where we live and what we like to see, how the future should be.
Oh, I dropped my thing.
What thing? It's okay. It's still recording.
Okay.
But, hey, we appreciate you guys. We're going to wrap this thing up. If you have been watching this all the way to the end, we so much do appreciate you. And if you haven't already, please make sure you like and you share this and you subscribe if you haven't already. You got any quotes for the people out there?
If you tell your friends, I'll give you $1.
Damn, that's a big ask. Hey, just send them your Cash App. I'll set them up.
I'll Venmo you $1.
I like it. Send it up. Hey, we appreciate your time, man. That's Foster and Feinstein, and we're out.
Peace and love. God bless.